Some of you may be able to tell the sleep transition is not going well. I wound up Friday. My plan was Friday to get home from work 8 o'clock a.m. and I was going to stay up as long as I possibly could. I was shooting for like 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. And I was on Ark, playing Ark. And I've been playing it all day because I was trying to stay awake. And it's one of those games where you just get into it and you just lose track of time. It's great for that. And I was fucking around on Ark, and Dennis logged on like around 9, 10 o'clock, something like that, right when I was about to get off. And I was like, hey, Dennis is on. So I figured I'd say hi to Dennis. Maybe he'd get me to stay up a couple extra hours. I wound up staying up until like 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And then I went to bed. I don't really remember Saturday. Would that have been Saturday? I don't really remember Saturday. I don't really remember Saturday at all. I don't really know what happened. But I know I played a lot of Ark. And I know that I didn't, something happened, and I don't know. I wound up waking up Sunday evening at like 10 at night. And that's not good for trying to be awake from 4 o'clock to midnight, especially. So, some got fucked up Saturday, which is probably why I don't remember much of it. I don't know. I stayed up for like 28 hours. A day got lost somewhere in there. I don't have it. But, yeah, so, and then today, Monday, I wound up staying up until like, I want to say 10, something like that. And I couldn't fall asleep. My body was like, look, we're either going to sleep or we're not. Clearly you don't want to sleep because you're doing all this staying up, so we're just not going to bother. So I just kind of laid in bed from 10 until 2:45 when my alarm went off, and then I hit the snooze a couple times, and then I woke up at 3. Well, got out of bed at 3. And then I went into work. I came back home, and I actually got to read some comments that I didn't even bother over the weekend because it was just like I can't think straight. When I don't get a whole lot of sleep, it's like my head is just stuffed full of cotton. I can't think around it all. It's so. But 2 days away is too long. That's too long. I think that's the first time I've gone more than 1 day off in a row since since my meltdown, probably. Been a long time. And it sucked. I didn't like being out of everything. I was out of everything, man. I just was like trying to do this thing. I can't be fucking around with anything else. Don't want to get distracted and wind up fucking it up. Ark. Anyways, so yeah, I got to read some of the comments. How far are we into this already? 6 minutes. That's not bad for a ramble, and then to go into the video. It's not bad. So I was reading comments, and one girl in particular, I don't know if she wants me to say her name. I'm not gonna. But she felt compelled from my video to make a video of her own, too, in fact. And she has had multiple brushes with shooters. It kind of goes with where she, you know, was around at one point in her life. And it kind of goes with some other things. The first video was very interesting. The second video was really compelling, I thought. And again, I'm not sure if she wants me to say who she is. People are like that. She doesn't seem like she's a big YouTuber. I mean, you know, normally they wouldn't give a shit. She seems rather small. And I don't know what she's trying to do with YouTube. It's so difficult nowadays to tell. So I'm not going to go out promoting her, you know, just in case she's like, I didn't really want a whole lot of attention. So, if you're watching this and you want to, I don't know, link the video, you're finally, I don't care if people link videos in the descriptions that are relevant to the topic. I encourage the linking of as much information that's relevant to the topic as you can. If you're going to be a bot and link me fucking porn sites, I delete those. If you're going to be a person that just gets on and goes, hey, check out my video, I go to your video. And if it has fuck all to do with what I'm talking about, I delete that shit. Because I don't mind promoting people. I don't. I have a service for that. And I don't mind, you know, tossing out a bone every once in a while. I don't mind be relevant to the topic, you know? Like, somebody did that shit and they were another commentator, but it was a video that it didn't have anything to do with the topic that I was commentating on, and I'm like, anyways. So, I watched her videos. I thought they were pretty good. The second one was very compelling. It was very interesting to hear that story. And I get it. You know, I understand where she's coming from. She has a good point. It's not enough to find the things, you have to tell somebody. And it's not enough for people to be told, they have to do something. You know, she's got great points. Yeah, she kind of brought about the human element to me. One thing she did in her first video which really floored me is she said one thing that nobody's done so far is to go out of their way to say, if you're somebody who's thinking about doing this sort of thing, or if you've considered doing this sort of thing, or you think this sort of thing is cool or whatever, you should seek help. But I don't know. I guess I don't think of that. Like, when I've done videos on suicide and things of that nature, I've always kind of gone out of my way to say, look, you know, if you're ever feeling like you only have one way out, believe me, there's a lot more than that. I've always said those kind of things. I like to try and link, you know, suicide stuff whenever I can. But honestly, I wonder the effectiveness of that. To not the suicide. Well, I mean, I wonder the effectiveness of that too. But I wonder if there would be any effectiveness at all. If it's wasted breath to say, if you're thinking of shooting all the kids in your school, seek help. You know, like you're asking a lot. I mean, people who want to commit suicide, a lot of the times they don't. They just feel that's what they got. They have no other choice. It's either this or suffer and die. You know what I mean? So, to talk those people down from the ledge, a lot of the times it's easy. Because a lot of the time, people are looking for an out. They just need somebody to pay enough attention to them to help. That's it. That's all they need. And they don't want to die. They just don't feel they have any other choice. And I think there's a big difference between telling somebody that may feel they have no choice in life except death, to sit there and look at them and say, you do, man. Like, that's an awfully permanent solution. Let's consider other options. First, you have, you know, if you're giving somebody a reach out, that's what they're looking for in that situation. But somebody who's so angry with whatever, school, their parents, their friends, their enemies, their bullies, whatever it is, themselves, whatever it is that they're angry with, that they would have so much hate in their heart that they would go and do this. Or somebody who's so fucked in the head that they think it would be fun to just up and shoot everybody at school. People like that, I wonder what they think when they see somebody say, if you're thinking about do this, go and seek help. I don't know. I don't really see them looking for a way to not be in that situation. They're looking to get into that situation. So that's kind of like saying, if you plan on murdering somebody, don't do it. Seek help. Like, if only that I do with everything, you know. If you plan on stealing something, don't. Get a job. I don't know. It just it seems odd to me to say that. I think it was like I said, it was a flooring gesture. I loved the gesture. It just, I wonder, if it would even matter. But doesn't hurt. I can't imagine it would hurt, you know. I can't imagine that there would be somebody sitting there, you know, perfectly at ease with the world, and then to hear somebody say, you know, if you're thinking about doing this sort of thing, you should really seek help. I don't think that would drive them to want to murder everybody at their school. And I don't think anybody would see that and be like, oh yeah, well fuck you, and then, you know, go and do it. Yeah, who knows? But I don't know, man. Everybody helps, you know. If you're doing it, if you're thinking about doing it for some reason that's ridiculous, if it's one of those suicide things where I'm going to take as many people with me as possible, my suggestion for that always is the coolest way, the way that all the cool kids do murder-suicide is they start with the suicide. Then they murder. That's the fucking epic way to do it, right? So, that's the advice I always give to people that are planning murder-suicide. It's because I find the people defective. I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, murdering all the murderers in the world. God forbid. But, you know, I don't have much remorse or empathy for somebody who would do that. The place in your mind you have to be to load up, plan it. I mean, these things don't go off, you know, the fly. They plan this shit. To plan it. To load up, go out and do it. It takes a particularly sick person. I don't see that person reaching out for help. Be sweet. Be sweet, you know. I just don't think they have it in them. It takes balls to choose a life of normalcy over just going out with a bang. You know what I mean? Life's hard, man. It's hard. Life is like the Dark Souls of lives. You know, it's really tough. It's tough to to do it. It's tough to fucking pull your ass out of bed every morning and go to your shit job that you hate or your shit school that you hate and fucking be around people that you don't like and have to interact with them on a regular basis. And you know, that shit's, it's rough. There's a lot of things in life that you have to do because you don't fucking have any other choice. But you know, you figure out a way to find something that makes you happy. Whatever it is. You find something that makes you happy. And then you just invest yourself in that, and you never know what happens from there, you know? But it's real tough to live life. I've talked about it before. I've thought about committing suicide for the stupidest fucking reasons. Literally, because I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. You know what I mean? Like, I seriously contemplate suicide probably 15 times a day. But I don't seriously contemplate suicide. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those, you know, I could fucking just kill myself and not even have to get out of bed. That'd be sweet. But I really want to see Infinity War. You know what I mean? So I've got something to look forward to until at least Christmas, isn't it? Like, I don't remember when the second one comes out, but I got something to look forward to until at least then. Once that's done, then I don't know. It could get tricky to stay alive from there, because I have no further need to be alive after that. Except that I'm sure something will come up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of the way I've always looked at it. You know, it's always an option, but it's not really an option. You know, I could just call off too. You know, I don't have to get out of bed. I could get out of bed enough to come out here and get my phone, and then go right back into my bed and call off from bed. Just fucking throw the phone on the floor and go right back to bed. I don't have to go into work. I mean, sooner or later I do, but, you know. You know, there's always a better option somewhere. And I don't see a better option for a kid who hates all of his classmates so much that he literally wants to murder them. You ask them to not do it. Yeah. Because they've decided they're going to do it. Once you get to that point, it's tough to go back from there. You have to chicken out or whatever from that point and not be able to do it. That's what really scares me. How many times does a kid walk into school loaded for bear and just goes home? You know, like, that's the thing that scares me. Because you know that's happened. Let's be realistic. You know that's happened. Probably a couple of times. But yeah, I don't know how you reach people that want to do that. I think that's been the question. I mean, you're literally asking, how do you convince a mass murderer to not murder masses of people? I don't know. That's a damn good question. I'd love to know the answer. But I'd say one surefire way is by declaring them psychotic and a danger to themselves and others, and getting them some form of treatment that will make them not a danger to themselves and others somehow. Making sure that happens. Because somebody else in the comments was like, they just disagreed with me completely. It's totally the guns. It's all the guns. Crazy people are fine. Just the guns. Guns are the problem. And I'm like, man, do you understand how many dangerous things there just are around you? all the time. There's so many things that are just dangerous around you all the time. So many different things that you can use in tandem with other things to make things that will be fucking horrific if unleashed on people. You think a gun? Really? Somebody said, I wish you would have used a knife. And I get the idea behind the sentiment, because a knife would have mean there would have only been 1 or 2 deaths instead of 17, because who cares about saving all the people? We just want to cut our losses to as low of a margin as possible. It's funny how people argue in favor of that. I want to have no deaths. I want to have crazy people locked up. The crazy, violent motherfuckers that just, there's no saving and they just need fucking a constant Thorazine drip just to keep them safe, even in their ward. Those motherfuckers need to just be locked up. And the crazy people that are borderline crazy, like they can be managed, they need to be managed somehow. And everybody else just, trickles down from there. But I want to keep the people away from the other people. We keep the predators away from the prey in zoos, because while it would be interesting to watch just animals being eaten all of the time, it's not very profitable because you have to continually bring in animals, right? So we should keep all of the predators away from the prey as far as human beings are concerned. And we do that in some respects, but we've grown extraordinarily lax in doing that in other respects. And I think that's part of the problem that we have going on right now. A lot of crazy people running around. So, and I don't think that can be argued. I don't think it can be argued that shit's been fucking getting steadilier and steadilier crazy over the past couple of decades. I don't think that can be argued at all. Right? But if you think, I was saying knives because I was being ridiculous about it. Next they're going to want to ban our knives. Right? No steak knives anymore. Somebody could get hurt. That's kind of the point I was trying to make. I also said vehicle. Right? We've all seen that video of the fucking trucks driving through crowds. Right? So we all know that's an option that's out there. There's so many other things. Simple things. I'm not going to list them because... But there's so many things, simple things, all through your house, that if brought from one area to another and combined in some way with maybe a few other things, you can still wreak some fucking massive devastation. Right? Let's not be fucking coy here. Let's not play pretend that there aren't worse things that could happen. Right? If somebody wants to go out with a bang, bangs can get pretty loud. That's all I'm saying. I would rather, where are we going to be in 20 years? We ban guns, no more guns. Take everybody's guns away from each other. And in 20 years, we're sitting around looking at, a building that's collapsed, killing a couple thousand people. And we're sitting around going, man, I remember when back in the day, it would have just been a couple of guns and a couple of kids, and they would have killed like 20 people. Now they're blowing up buildings and shit. Like, if people want to fucking kill you, they're going to figure out a way to do it. But they're going to use whatever is easiest accessible, and in the case of children, coolest, and that can be just used easily. Right? People don't think. People aren't thinking. It's one of those topics. You see dead kids, it makes you very emotional. It does. It made me very emotional too. Made me very emotional. And these things happen, and you have an emotional reaction. But your emotional reaction has to give way to a reasoned response. The only sovereign you can allow to rule you is reason. I forget what wizard's rule that is, but it is one of them. The only sovereign you can allow to rule yourself is reason. There's a reason that it's a wizard rule, and there's a reason why it's called reason. Like, you know, I my own story I'll share with you. At one point in time, my sister lived in Aurora, Colorado. It just so happens that also, in this same point in time, the movie, what was it, The Dark Knight Rises? Dark Knight Rises was about to open. Midnight showing. Right? Now, my brother-in-law is big into comics and shit like that. So is my sister. She likes that kind of stuff too. My nephew loves it. Totally the type of people that might possibly go to a midnight showing of Dark Knight Rises. Right? So you better believe that when that shit went down, and I heard on the radio the next day that there was a shooting in Aurora, in Colorado, at a midnight showing of Batman or Dark Knight Rises, I was extremely upset. I quickly texted my sister. She said she was fine. Everything was good. They didn't go. But it wasn't even like a thing where it was like they were going to go, but they decided not to last minute. It wasn't even anything like that. They didn't want to go. They didn't care to go. They went and saw it like after a couple weeks when most people had seen it. So, that type of thing. But I remember hearing that, and I remember like the slowness of the connection that was made. It was such an odd moment. You know, it's one thing when it happens down your street or at your school or wherever that's around you. You know, that's one thing. You hear, you know, this happened on Fullerton or, you know, whatever street, and you go, you know, like that. The connection is made like that. But when the connection your brain is trying to make for you, by the way, right? This is my subconscious telling me this. This fucking has nothing to do with me at all. I hear Aurora on the radio, Colorado, midnight shooting, Dark Knight Returns. And for me to put together the location with my sister and all to put all of that, man, it took probably a good 10-20 minutes for it all to really sink in to the point where I got it, and I was like, oh shit, that's. And I remember how, like, it was, you go from 0 to 60. The slowness, the glacial movement of your subconscious to push that thought up to the point where your conscious mind will see it. And then for your conscious mind to be like, holy shit! And to have a million things run through it all at once. Fucking about broke my neck. But yeah, I remember just the panic of wondering if my sister and my brother-in-law and my nephew were still alive. It's not the type of thing that I don't think I should have to go through. But my thought at no point was, man, if only we didn't have any guns. Right? My thought wasn't also, boy, if only there was a lot more guns in that room. You know, I didn't think that either. What I thought was, there's a crazy person that shot up a movie theater and nobody did anything to stop him. People knew he was a crazy person. People knew that he was violent. People knew he was antisocial. People knew he had these tendencies. It was a fucking thing. And nobody did anything to stop him. And it's not part of identity politics anymore, because it's something we've gotten rid of. But many a year ago, mental patients, very much part of identity politics. The idea of mental patients. These people deserve dignity, and they deserve to be able to be treated at home, where they can be cared for and loved. And they deserve to be treated like normal people. There's nothing really wrong with them. They can't help themselves. They have mental problems. So we just keep them out in the streets so that they can have dignity. Except so many of them wind up literally out on the streets, homeless. Just crazy and homeless. And that's your dignity for you. It's the compassion of, we don't want to have mental wards. We don't want to imprison our insane, because that's not right. They didn't commit any crimes. They're just crazy. So, identity politics has done its harm already. And it's going to keep doing its harm. But at some point or another, we have to really take the emotional equation out of it. I never, at any point, thought to myself, boy, if only there was no guns, this would have never happened. I did think, thank God, that he didn't have any bombs, because that was a long time ago. There was a whole terrorist thing going on. It was suicide vests and whatnot. That was a big thing. Yeah, I never thought that. I never thought we need to not have any guns. It's ridiculous. I thought we need to find these crazy people and treat them in the way that they need to be treated. And the girl who had the videos that I watched, I think you have a lot of survivor's remorse or survivor's regret. I don't remember what it's called. It's where a traumatic thing happens and some people die and some people don't. But any one of them could have gone. There before the grace of God, so on and so forth. And it's a very real thing. And, everybody says things like, oh, I'm just me. I don't really do anything for the world. Those are other people. Well, those other people would probably be there to tell you, well, I'm just me. I don't really do anything great for the world. I'm just some person. We're all just some people. We all think we're just some people. That's one of the things that we try to hold on to. It's the people that lose sight of that, the Logan Pauls of the world, that, they wind up losing track of their humanity, and they just think that the whole life is a stage, and, they're the lead actor. Other people lose their humanity in other ways, but it's the loss of humanity. That's the problem. But, you can't think that way. You can't think I'm just some person that don't really matter to the world. I'd sacrifice myself for a stranger. Well, that stranger could go on to murder 50 fucking people. If you don't know people, you don't know them. And to trade your life willy-nilly for a completely unknown, that's ridiculous. Self-preservation is a huge driving factor in all creatures that crawl, walk, or fly. It's our main driving force. You don't eat because the food tastes good. You don't eat because it's noon and that's lunchtime. You eat because your body says, if you don't, we'll die. And we don't want that. That's why you get hungry. You don't drink water because it tastes so fucking good. You see where I'm going with all this, right? You don't breathe because the air is so yummy. You do all of these things because you want to survive. Deep down inside, your body at least wants to survive. Your mind may not give a fuck what happens to the body, but the body will continue to truck on as long as the mind allows it. So, say what you will about it. And a lot of shit is reflexive with the body. It just fucking won't. Try and hold your breath until you die. You can't fucking do it. People pass out and then just wake back up. Your body does not want you to die. It doesn't. And don't fucking hold your breath. I know some asshole in the comments can be like, I can't believe you told people to hold your breath. If you're stupid enough to do it, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you either. Come the fuck on. But, yeah, so self-preservation is a huge thing. And you should never feel bad for doing what you felt at the time you needed to do to survive. I guess depending on what that is, but you never. Hey, you know. I mean, would I step in front of a bullet for a total stranger? Probably not. Would I push a stranger overboard to keep myself alive? Probably not. I'd be more the guy helping everybody through. I would not be the guy picking out who I'm going to eat first. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I don't know. We're all people, and we all have differences. But the people with the dark corners in their minds, everybody knows who they are. Like, somebody out there knows who they are. Somebody. If it's a parent who's scared for their child and doesn't want them to grow up institutionalized, well, guess what? You don't want them to grow up a mass murderer either. Because that's still institutionalization. Just a far rougher one. But we don't, you know, at one point parents would look at their kid and go, June, he's murdering another cat out in the garage. I think we need to take that boy to the doctor. Have him committed. Nowadays, it's June, he's murdering another cat in the garage. Better close the door so the neighbors don't see. I don't know. It's changing of the times. But I think the information that I showed was extremely compelling. A 95, whatever it was, 93 ultimately % fucking drop in apparently craziness in the world. Go figure, right? Like, I just think it's so odd. The mentality that makes the connections that guns were used in all these instances, so therefore guns bad. Instead of making the connection that crazy people used guns in all these instances, crazy people are bad. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is, man. It's hey. It's our world. We will choose to do with it what we will. And if the majority of people decide to choose to get rid of all the guns but keep the crazy people, fine. But I just don't understand how that makes any sense. This used to be me. A sad, sad puppy. No food in the fridge. holes in my pillowcase and all out of... Recently, things have been going great. You all have helped me out a lot. Now I have a fridge full of takeout, new pillowcases, and let's be honest, I'm never out of... But the reason that things have changed around for me like that is because I've had a lot of pressure taken off of me for buying stuff for making videos for you guys. You guys helped me buy a new capture box when my old one broke. You helped me buy a new PC when the other one turned into poop. And you helped me get to Perfect Circle concerts so that I could share that experiences with you guys. Recently I've kind of had to change the way I do things, but I found another way. You can find me on Maker's Support. I have a link in the description, and if you'd like to donate money to keep this sort of thing going, then that's where you can do it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I hope you have fun. Bye.